Who are the people? Introduce your team and
So Group 1 consists of I, Dr. Deepa and Ms. Jyoti. And our topic is COP1 and COP29.
29.
Yes, sir. And I would explain the outcomes, the motive, and success and failures. So COP1, which was held in Berlin, the main outcomes of COP1 was Berlin mandate. It was about recognizing that existing commitments in the UNFCCC were inadequate, called for strengthened commitments from uh, developed countries who have, of course, emitted a lot of emissions. Focus area of COP1 was emission reduction, financial mechanisms for developing countries, technology transfer, and capacity building. And coming to the failures of COP1, which are also important to discuss, lack of binding emissions targets, insufficient financial commitments, limited progress on key issues. However, there were also few successes. Is the establishment of pilot phase for activities implemented jointly, foundation for future climate negotiation. Now coming to COP29, which was our second topic, which was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. Uh, it was about finalizing carbon trade rules, bringing about transparency, financing and mobilizing private investment. However, it didn't come in a consensus about the fossil fuel phase out. Some of the successes, for COP29 were new collective quantified goal, operationalization of loss and damage fund, Article 6 rules, and global stocktake. These were our findings with regards to COP1 and COP29.
perfect.
Yes.
How many of you liked it? Give a silent clapping to him. You know how silent clapping happens, right? Everyone, silent clapping, right? For especially able people, we do this silent clapping. Let's do that. Very good, very good. Everyone, please appreciate at least the virtual clap for the other team members. अगर आप उसको नहीं करोगे तो वो आपको नहीं करेगा ना. The world will be left without one eye. Appreciate the other. Everyone, go ahead. This is your chance to appreciate. Clap करिए भाई, कैमरा ऑन करके. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, go ahead. Good job done, team one. Who were there? Team one, raise your hand. Very nice finding was two are common. Everybody knows in COP one. सबको मालूम है COP 29 का कि वहां पे लॉस एंड डैमेज फंड वाज ऑपरेशनलाइज्ड एंड आर्टिकल 6.2 6.4 got implemented. The third one which Tim has found out is rarely heard or seen. क्या था third one आपका finding? पार्थ, क्या बोले आप third one?
Yes, sir. The third outcome of COP1, right?
Yes, COP 29 I am talking.
Yes, sir. So the
Global
third,
stock take.
Stock take.
yes,
इसका
sir.
एग्रीमेंट हुआ है COP 30 में प्रेजेंट होगा. वेरी गुड जॉब. ओके, लेट्स गो टू ग्रुप 2 नाउ. Who is presenting from group 2?
Hi everyone, we are a group of 3 members, which includes Priya.
विनायक आपका कैमरा ऑन नहीं है.
ग्रुप ग्रुप 2 में
I
तो
know
हम है ना
Looks really
विनायक
bad.
जी.
That's look really bad. That team is
okay, that's group 3, I
dark
guess.
room.
Okay, we are group 3, I think. Actually.
The next time you should not get that opportunity if you will not start your camera. People have to see who is speaking at least, right? ऐसा लग रहा है book बोल रहे हैं आपके. Book or table lamp.
I have switched on the camera, but the videos, it's not able to capture me. I don't know why.
मोबाइल यूज कर लो, उसमें क्या है? 2 मिनट के लिए यूज.
I'm on the mobile data only.
नहीं, डेटा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मोबाइल का कैमरा आप यूज कर सकते हैं पार्थ. एंड
Oh,
स्टार्ट योर कैमरा. Meanwhile, go ahead. This one I am allowing you because we don't have time. और let me go to group 3. नहीं, आपको आप पिछले 3 दिन से किसी ने आपको देखा ही नहीं. कल आप रोड में मिल भी जाओगे तो कोई पहचानेगा नहीं. Who was Vinay Kumar from EY? Yeah. Let's go to group 3. Group 3 में कौन-कौन है?
No, it's group 3. It's we. I think I pulled it
ग्रुप
down.
2 में सर, ग्रुप 2.
अच्छा,
Yeah.
आप लोग ग्रुप 2 है ना?
जी जी,
Yes,
हम
sir.
लोग ग्रुप 2 हैं।
ग्रुप 2 हम लोग हैं।
ओह, ओके, सो ग्रुप 2 स्टार्ट करिए प्लीज।
यस सर।
का ही चांस है, ग्रुप 3 अभी प्रिपेयर होंगे तब हम उनको देंगे चांस।
श्रद्धा
अब्दुल,
मैम,
मैंने ना क्योटो वाला डाल दिया है पीपीटी।
ओके ओके, मैं कर लेता हूँ। गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. In
स्क्रीन
our
शेयर कर लें।
group, we have Shraddha ma'am, Ajay, Mr. Ajay, and myself, Mr. Amjad. Uh, our group has to elaborate about COP21 and COP3. As you know, that COP3 is a Kyoto Protocol. This conference happened in December 1997. 6 gases were identified in this. CO2, CH4, N2O, HFC, but NF3 was missing. And around 192 countries has participated into this, Kyoto, Japan. And they were legally binding commitment to greenhouse gas emissions by developed nation to combat climate change. This protocol was superseded by a Paris Agreement, that is uh, COP21. And some of the main takeaway from this conference is, one was the legally binding targets that every developed nation has to, set the emission reduction targets. There was one more, that common but differentiated responsibilities. Means developed countries are primarily responsible for the current high level of greenhouse gases. Also, there was flexible mechanism was introduced, that is CDM, joint implementation, and emission trading, although the CDM later on failed. And there was a second commitment period was also decided around 2012 to up to 2020. That was a Doha amendment. The success about this protocol is, it was binding international law, first treaty to climate change through binding international law, and CDM was introduced, and more increased awareness was created through them for the climate action, and this laid a foundation for Paris Agreement, that is COP 21. And this COP21, which was held in Paris 2015, this was to achieve legal binding and universal agreement on climate to reduce the global warming temperature below 2 degree, means to control up to 2 degree. As this agreement is, known as that the famous quote, like they agreed, all the countries agreed to not to agree to everything. So this in this key point, that the developing countries will be helped by developed country to mobilize around $100 billion annually by 2020. And this UNFCCC involved participation from all 196 signatories from UNFCCC. And this treaty came into force 4 November 2016. Primary goal, as I already explained, that below 2 degrees Celsius, but preferably 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. In this, NDC was also introduced, uh, like nationally determined contribution, means every country has to, declare or outline the effort, create a climate action plan to reduce emissions and adapt climate change. There was one more ambition mechanism, that every 5 years they have to, be more ambitious, and they have to take mechanism to increase global ambition. And then global stock take was also, uh, this is about periodic review of the progress, inform the countries, um, preparing more ambitious. And this protocol also, favored about transparency reporting, climate finance, and adaptation. And loss and damage was also, discussed. There is a need to address loss and damage associated with the effect of climate change. and common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities was also, acknowledged by all the countries that there will be common share responsibility to address this climate change. Means rich nation will donate more, and and the poor nation will get benefited by this. So it was a historic agreement, first time that all nations committed to a common cause to undertake ambitious effort to combat climate change. This is all about COP
Fair.
3 and COP 21. Yeah.
Good. Good job done. But who was the checker here?
Sir,
Who was the
myself but sir
Ajay
केवल
checked, sir.
केवल only एक ही चेक कर पाया सर, मतलब दूसरे का टाइम ही नहीं मिला. टाइम वाज वेरी वेरी लेस फॉर द
टाइम
प्रोजेक्ट.
लेस ही रहने वाला है, याद रखिएगा. टाइम कभी पूरा नहीं पड़ता है. बट कमिंग बैक टू द स्टोरी, only thing which he got confused, rest of the stuff was completely clear, and there are certain good points which I am coming to, but let me give the where he got stuck, and somebody would have checked. He said that periodicity was agreed in COP 21. Absolutely, and that was the stock tick. And when he said that each country, CBFR, that's the principle, okay? The,
Common but differentiated
differentiate.
responsibility. Yeah.
If DR, sorry, CBDR, common but differentiated responsibility, CBDR, is
Yes.
basically done in Kyoto, okay?
Yes, sir.
That was launched as a word, and that only, if you will see, NDC has taken form of.
Yes, sir.
तो
Yes.
ये लिंकेज आपको करना चाहिए था, इसलिए
करना चाहिए.
तो दोनों साथ में दिया था.
Yes, sir. Okay,
That
sir.
is the only feedback. Otherwise, CB DR very rarely you will hear,
Yes.
but that is the very premise of all conference of party today.
Mm.
कोई अग्री ही नहीं करेगा.
Yes, sir.
इसीलिए आप देखोगे कि जैसे मीथेन प्लेज हुआ, पेट्रोलियम वाला भी चल रहा था, राइट? इंडिया डिडंट साइन, इवन मिडिल ईस्ट वाज नॉट साइनिंग. दे हैव नॉट साइंड दैट फॉसिल फ्यूल का रिडक्शन
Yes.
आने की बात जो चल रही है वो नहीं अग्री हो रहा है. सो ऑल दैट आर पॉसिबल बिकॉज वी हैव अ फंडामेंटल common but differentiated responsibility. So everybody
Yes.
should take a differentiated responsibility, and that is the contentious point where America always takes back. That's the only point on which they say, I'm no longer part of this agreement. Good job done. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This was a concentrated effort by Shraddha ma'am and Ajay sir also.
Very
मैं तो कुछ ही नहीं किया सर, केवल पॉइंट आउट करना चाह रहे थे, क्योंकि सर जानते थे कि श्रद्धा मैम ने वो किया है और आपने वो किया है.
नहीं,
बस वो
अजय
पूछ
सर,
रहे थे
criticism भी पॉजिटिव
थैंक यू
फील
थैंक यू
आता
फॉर
है.
दैट.
अपॉर्चुनिटी.
यही टीम.
थैंक यू फॉर दैट. आई लर्न न्यू थिंग, आई डोंट नो अबाउट दैट. द ऑटोमेटिक ये फिर मेन रूम में आ जाते हैं, उसके बाद से अलग रूम में बातें करते हैं.
ओके. अच्छा, मतलब टेक्नोलॉजी भी आप सीख रहे हैं. चलिए बढ़िया. मुझे लगा कि टीम में कुछ सीखे आप. No problem. Good to know that. Okay, let's go to group number 3. Who wanted to speak but could not.
Hi everyone, it's Vinay. So our group consists of 3 members, that is Mazhar,
Still not.
Priya and myself. I mean, I will definitely switch on tomorrow because I'm connected through
No
mobile with
problem. No
laptop, so
problem.
that's why.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
COP15 has some, conducted actually in 2 parts. I think probably this is the only one which was conducted in 2 parts. The first thing is happened in Kunming, China, which was virtual, to be frank. And the second thing happened in Montreal, Canada. So the major outcome of this particular COP was to address the global biodiversity. And they had major key points to address this. To name a few, they have they had a target of 30 into 30 target. That's basically they want to protect the 30% of the global land and oceans by 2030, and they want to restore some of the degraded marine ecosystem as well. And also they concentrated on the biodiversity finance. Basically, they mobilized 200 billion per year by 2030 for developing countries. And with respect to India, we supported this by promoting the nature positive development, as well as the the government called for the sustainable agriculture and technology transfer in order to show our support for COP 15. And when it comes to COP 26, which again conducted in Glasgow, UK, and the major point was to the mandate was to strengthen the climate action under the Paris Agreement 2015. The major outcome again here is to urge everyone to support the efforts to limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, not just well below 2 degrees Celsius. And also, this is the first COP that mentioned the word phase down of unabated coal and phase out the inefficient fossil fuel subsidies. And also, they acknowledge the failure of $100 billion by 2030, so which they resulted in doubling the adaptation finance by 2025. And with respect to COP 2026, India's position and pledge, or we announced Panchmitra, I think, 5-point climate action plan. That is net zero by 2070. That's the first one. The second one is 50 GW non-fuel energy by 2030. 50% of energy reduction from 50% of energy should come from renewables by 2030. And the fourth one is the 45% reduction in emission intensity. The last one is 1 billion tons carbon reduction by 2030. That's pretty much on the COP 2015 and 2020 COP 26.
Okay. So good job done. I think quite a deep study. Who all were there with you, Vinay?
Priya and Mazhar.
Oh, nice. Good job. Good job. The best part was that you understood, right? There was two part of it. It was not finished in one. It went to Canada as well to get completed.
Correct.
And
also, I mean, I should have mentioned the framework is CBD, right? For this COP 15. It's not the
CBD means confidence building.
No. Let me
Biodiversity.
Biodiversity.
Yes. That they have said 30-30. That was for the
Convention.
biodiversity recovery.
Yeah.
So that became the premise of even COPs for biodiversity. Okay.
Yeah.
Different COP.
This one is biological diversity. This is Convention on Biological Diversity.
Correct.
It's quite confusing. Just be
No,
very
but
clear.
I think you have done justice, Miss. I don't know. A lot of people might have faced a problem of understanding. That's why, because it was not in real term, it didn't get implemented well. Montreal has talked a lot of stuff, not only this, but implementation wise, it became very weak.
I mean, that's when the term blue economy, came into a lot of prominence, attention in the banking industry as well.
True. Today, without water, there is no discussion. All environment is all about water because 40% of, look, let me give you statistics. 70% of planet Earth is covered by water, but only 2.5% of that is drinkable or fresh water. 2.5%, can you imagine? And people think सी में आपने देखा है कभी मूवीज में देखे होंगे 300 डेज लोग रह गए आपको लगता है वो सी वाटर पी के जी के रहे होंगे एनीबॉडी हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक दैट दे वर ड्रिंकिंग सी वाटर एंड बीइंग अलाइव कितने लोगों को लगता है यस लिखिए चैट बॉक्स में किसी को नहीं लगता ना दैट्स अ ट्रूथ आप सी वाटर पी ही नहीं सकते हो लगता है कि वाटर है वो वाटर है ही नहीं आप उसको पियोगे ना और प्यास बढ़ती है to drain out that salt.
Yeah,
it's a pure salt.
Yes.
Right? And hence, this is not drinkable at all. We have developed technology to clean the desalination plants and we are adopting it, but it is not an alternative. Okay, it's a complete of chemical reaction through which we are removing the salt. So point ये है कि water is a major issue today. It has a huge impact. और किसी ने आज भेजा भी है, right? कि सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे आने वाली है इंडिया वन ऑफ
Actually, we started getting this water issue now from once Mr. Kam has presented one presentation slide. water in 2030. There will be a war in future for this water, drinking water.
Okay.
Sir, unmute कीजिए. हाँ.
Sorry, somebody is saying something. So, Mayurji, when you are leaving from Bangalore?
From Bangalore, I'll be going to Hosur on Thursday evening.
Make a route through Whitefield, if possible.
Then in the daytime, it would be better because, again, my intention is to reach earlier at the hotel so I can attend the class.
So please do that. So while going through Whitefield, you can stop by.
Fine.
Okay.
क्लास साथ
I'll
ही
do
में
that.
मयूर जी अटेंड कर लीजिए कल
हाँ,
शाम
ये यहाँ पे ही कर लेंगे ना, ऑफिस में अटेंड कर लेंगे. अगर मुझे
वो भी चलेगा.
Yeah, for you
Live.
it will be easier.
Live
Okay.
program.
Yeah, live. Why not? I would love to. Getting all of you to in one place will be much more better.
Right.
Okay, so good. Let's go to the last group. Group 4. You are only the group.
Right, sir. So I'm going to present for group 4. My group consists of myself, Mayur Vachiora, Dr. Richa Paharia, and Mr. Vaidyanathan. So Vaidyanathan had taken up COP2 and Dr. Richa had taken up COP28. So they had shared their inputs, and based on that, I made a general note, which I will present now. So the key outcomes of COP2, which was held in Geneva 1996 from July 8 to 19, were the acceptance of IPCC second report of 1995, human activity acknowledged as a cause, the foundation for Kyoto Protocol, voluntary measures were insufficient, 1,500 participants took part, like NGOs, government institution officials, and all these people. And it endorsed the IPCC conclusion. The climate impacts discussed in COP2 were regarding the temperature rise from 0.3 degrees Celsius or to 0.6 degrees Celsius in the 20th century. Again, sea level rises by 10 to 25 centimeters were observed. The discussions also took place regarding the extreme weather and the increasing frequency of this unpredictable weather. The ice sheetings retreating and the stress signs related to biodiversity. The evolution since COP2, the key data today shows about global temperature plus 0.6 degrees Celsius from 1996, increasing to plus 1.2 degrees Celsius in 2025. The carbon dioxide, 360 ppm in the year 1996, increasing to 420 plus ppm in 2025. The sea level rise from 20 centimeters in 1996 to 30 plus centimeters in 2025. And the loss of Arctic ice by 75%. The visual impact of climate trends, temperature anomaly graph from 1880 to 2025 was discussed. Carbon dioxide emission trends were discussed. Sea level rise chart. Why COP2 still matters today was early recognition of climate risk from voluntary to binding negotiations and foundations of net zero politics. The current climate challenges, more floods, droughts, heat waves, then the economic impacts, the climate refugees, and biodiversity loss. And also it laid a foundation for future action, the science-based policy decisions to be taken, urgency of actions without undue delay, global cooperation from all countries, and individual responsibility taken by every human being. So the conclusion of this COP2 was recognized the scientific reality. Impacts predicted are real. It's a strong, fast, united actions needed. This was about the COP2. Now for COP28, the highlights from COP28 agreements happened in the year 2023, which was held in Dubai from November 30th to December 12th. 85,000 plus participants took part in this. The main highlights were related to phase down of fossil fuels recognized for the first time, tripling renewable energy capacity by 2030, doubling energy efficiency, loss and damage fund operationalized. The climate impact, recent trends, global temperature increase of plus 1.2 degrees Celsius of 2023, as of 2023. Carbon dioxide levels of 420 ppm. Sea level rise of plus 30 centimeters since 1900. And the extreme weather increasing frequency and intensity. So in COP2, if we see, it was basically increasing frequency, but in the COP28, the issues related to just not increasing frequency, but even the intensity. The visual climate impact trends, global temperature rise, year-wise, we have stated carbon dioxide concentration and sea level rise. The COP28 significance was related was mainly on clear directions on fossil fuels taken, major push for renewables, enhanced adaptation of finance, stronger accountability through stock take. The challenges after COP28 transition from pledges to action, finance gap for developing nations, political resistance in some regions, technology and infrastructure challenges. The lessons for the future was aligning with science. Main was the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway, ensuring climate justice, support vulnerable countries, and accelerate innovation in finance. The conclusion of COP28 marked a critical milestone, concrete steps needed to meet targets, collaboration across governments, businesses, and individuals. So this was the details that I have, from their sharing. I have put up the points.
Who has done the research and who did the verification?
The research for COP20 it was done by Dr. Richa, and Vaidyanathan did COP2, and I put it together with verification from Google search.
बस यही गलती हुई है आपसे।
हाँ
ये
जी
यहाँ
सर।
पे 3 डेटा जो आपने बीच में बोला COP2 के रिलेटिंग कि
हाँ
COP2 में कार्बन का क्या पॉइंट था 336 एंड देन यू सेड दैट 2025 420 ppm राइट पार्टिकल पर मिलियन दैट डेटा इज रॉन्ग।
ओके
480 446 के ऊपर है, नंबर
ओके
डिफरेंट है। दूसरा आपने वहीं पे एक और डेटा बोला 2025 के बारे में, वो भी डेटा गलत है। तो
ओके
इसके लिए मैंने बोला था कोई चेकर होना चाहिए।
ओके
समझ गए? नेक्स्ट टाइम प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट वन
श्योर
पर्सन
श्योर
कीप अ सैनिटी की एक सोर्स नहीं, 2 सोर्स कम से कम। चेकर को 2 सोर्स,
राइट
उसको ज्यादा काम है, उसको तो दोनों पे ही काम करना था और उसको
राइट
2 सोर्स चेक करने थे। और एवरीथिंग इज परफेक्ट मयूर जी एंड
हाँ
डॉक्टर रिचा, मतलब देर इज नो डाउट COP 28 में जो आपने पॉइंट्स हाईलाइट किए हैं परफेक्ट है, राइट? लॉस एंड डैमेज फंड ऑपरेशनलाइज हुआ, लेकिन वहाँ का ट्रिविया लेके आप लोगों ने आना चाहिए था। एक बहुत
राइट
इंटरेस्टिंग ट्रिविया है। क्या ट्रिविया है? बाइडन हु हैज अग्रीड एंड हु हैज स्टिल नॉट टेकन बैक फ्रॉम द कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ पार्टी हैज कमिटेड द फंड, पुट द फंड, चेक द अमाउंट। अमाउंट आप देखोगे तो हंसोगे, ठीक है? 100 बिलियन के लिए उन लोगों ने कितना डाला, दैट्स अ इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट इन COP 28। तो बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट्स हैं, पॉइंट्स में कोई डाउट नहीं है, बट नेक्स्ट टाइम से। और दूसरी बात, बहुत लेंदी है,
राइट राइट
अगली बार से मेरे को बुलेट पॉइंट ही चाहिए।
फाइन
हमारे ग्रुप में आप देखो, नहीं तो टाइम जा रहा है, राइट?
सही है
सो नेक्स्ट टाइम कंबाइन बोथ, रिड्यूस इट। That's your
Yes,
responsibility as a
practice will make it more better.
absolutely, and that's what I want. That's why I'm giving a feedback. There is no point giving
Yes,
feedback, but giving that.
right, sir.
ये तो आज स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं हम लोग. आज तो प्रैक्टिस है, अभी तो खेलना बाकी है, right? So good job done. That is
Thank
the
you.
teamwork. We wanted to introduce the teamwork part so that you get comfortable with, and yes, clap for the whole team. Good job, everyone. Good job. सबने कुछ न कुछ किया है, and I'm impressed. Yeah, अच्छी शुरुआत है. अगर आगाज ऐसा है, तो अंत तो बहुत विशाल होने वाला है. Very good job. Okay, let's do. So this batch is getting the momentum. Now I'm feeling ये batch हंगामा करने वाला है debates में and final presentation में. Let's go back. So that was the finding. See, if I would have told, I would have done limited. Now, when it come to you, you did deep dive, you brought the data, yeah, and you learn as well as we learn better, right? अकेले करूंगा तो नहीं आएगा. That's why we do the group work. Okay, let me put it on screen.
Sir, can we get this activity one day in advance, sir, so that we can go in deep?
वो डीप जो एक दिन में एडवांस वाला है वो आपको बताया जाएगा.
Okay, okay,
ये
sir.
नहीं कर सकते हैं. ये ऑन इम्प्रॉम्प्टू चाहिए आपको. रिसर्च उसी समय करना है. 10 मिनट में क्या रिसर्च कर. आप जाओगे कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ पार्टी में और
जी.
कोई नया टॉपिक उधर लेके आ गया, तो क्या आप सर्च करते बैठोगे 2 दिन कि भाई इसको रिस्पॉन्ड करना है? इमीडिएटली हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड, राइट? कॉर्पोरेट सिनारियो में सोचो, आप गए, आपको लगा कि वहां पे सारा कार्बन डेटा अवेलेबल होगा, वहां कोई डेटा ही अवेलेबल नहीं है.
Okay.
और आपको अब पीयर रिसर्च करना है, तो आप उनसे 2 दिन का टाइम मांगोगे? बोलेगा कल मीटिंग में को चाहिए. तो यू हैव टू डू दैट. या सो ये लर्निंग का प्रोसेस है. डोंट वरी, जहां 2 दिन का टाइम चाहिए 2 दिन का आपको टाइम मिलेगा, जहां 1 दिन का चाहिए 1 दिन का मिलेगा. लेकिन कुछ है जो इम्प्रॉम्प्टू होंगे और वो एक इंट्रोडक्शन है आपको. या इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ लर्निंग. सो गेट ग्रिप विथ. सबका अलग अलग तरीका होता है, राइट? हमारा ये तरीका है. ओके, सो इज माई स्क्रीन विजिबल नाउ?
Yes, sir.
So we have covered. पूरा स्क्रीन शेयर हो जाओ. Okay, perfect. Now, so conference of party, right? We have already covered. Let's go to the purpose of conference of party. Indication I have already given. Let's understand the theoretical part of it, which are critical to know. There are 3 critical reasons why conference of parties exist, and it happens, and it is being effective till date. Yeah. The first one is इट गिव्स यू कि इंप्लीमेंट क्या हुआ. तो केवल बातें करने से नहीं होता है. यू नो, पीपल टॉक, दे साइन डील्स, बट इट नेवर गेट एक्सिक्यूटेड. टू हैव अ एक्सक्यूशन डन, इट हैपेंस एवरी ईयर, सो दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी रिमेन्स. क्योंकि हर एक नेक्स्ट साल लगे उसी टेबल में बैठना है. Yeah, and you have committed this year, and now you have to give the update. So to review the implementation of the convention, this became an important tool. Second, it also assesses your national communication and emission inventories, which comes through nationally determined contributions. So I'm introducing you NDC, and NDC ke 5-point plan is in left hand side. Clear? That's the second purpose of conference of party. Third one is to make decisions to promote effective implementation. जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो रहा है उसका डिसीजन वहीं पे दिलवाया जाता है, एंड दैट्स अ गेम चेंजर. But because once those secretaries, under secretaries sitting in that table is making some commitment, or prime minister of a country, then whole country has to follow. There is no way out of it. And that is why conference of party acts like a decision making platform. सेम चीज WEF भी करती है, अगर आपने सुना होगा, डावोस में होता है हर एक साल, राइट? बट दैट इज ओनली फॉर बिजनेसेस. दिस वन इज फॉर क्लाइमेट. मतलब उसमें भी आजकल WEF में भी बड़ा एजेंडा चलता है क्लाइमेट का, बाय द वे, इफ यू आर अवेयर. बिग एजेंडा.
World Economic Forum.
वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम, यस. सो ग्लोबल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ व्हाट, of conference of parties today is it translates the international climate commitments and agreement into national targets. National target is nothing but nationally determined contribution towards the targets which conference of party sets together. जैसे net zero of 2050. Net zero of 2050 has been agreed in 2050, right? Now, to achieve that, each country has to do their part. And to set that part, you do your own inventory check, your own calculation, and come in the conference and party and do it. And hence, that has a global impact. Clear? Third thing is driving social and economical changes to zero carbon future. Carbon, we have understood, is the nastiest stuff if human is trying to emit it. If atmosphere is doing, it's the best stuff to happen to the planet Earth. But when human induced carbon dioxide is getting emitted or greenhouse gas is emitted, then it has a social as well as economical taxing. And for that, now big governments have planned it. They want to be the first one. They want to tax these countries who are developing very fast. And that's why CBAM is opposed. Today, CBAM in India is opposed. Indian government doesn't want it. Indian corporations doesn't want it. Indian lobbyists doesn't want it. And the reason is very simple. We are in the stage of developing. If we start taking those technology which are so costly that even though I emit a zero carbon, but my product is not going to get able to sell in those markets, then what's the point? To get to carbon neutral or carbon zero emission, please understand, sometime automation is required. And that automation reduces the competitive advantage of country like ours. Ricardo theorem of competitive advantage, if you have seen it, through which we decide the purchase power parity, has this concept in the beginning. But now Trump has understood this is becoming a disadvantage for him, hence he brought tariff. ऐसा तो नहीं है tariff नई चीज है, tariff तो सबसे पुरानी चीज है. But he brought tariff back to get that mojo in his own country, and the dollar has to have that mojo, which BRIC country challenged initially. Right? So tariff का भी एक reason है. And hence, even in tax, tariff is coming by this developed nation who has taken first step. And they have an advantage because their per capita income is very high, so they can deploy any technology because still it will make sense to them. इंडिया का एडवांटेज क्या था कि यहाँ पे कम कॉस्ट में डेवलप करो, डेवलप एट अ लोअर कॉस्ट बिकॉज मैन पावर कॉस्ट इज लेस, एंड सेल इट टू दोज डेवलप्ड कंट्री वेयर मैन पावर कॉस्ट एंड अदर कॉस्ट आर वेरी हाई, and then we take certain products from them. That was the comparative advantage theory. इंडिया को समझ में आ गया कि सीबैम के थ्रू या ये टैक्स जो है इसके थ्रू हम डिसएडवांटेज में जाएंगे, सो दे आर अपोजिंग इट. Possibly, if and of course our finance minister, our prime minister is trying to negotiate, they know it will not happen because that is the only instrument they have. They don't have any other instrument today to stop our development or stop us to sell in their country. क्योंकि एक नया theory आया है, authoritarian democracy, right? All that part of is a political debate, and somehow climate is related to political. So I'm just illustrating those facts and figures. Let's not go and get embroiled in those politics because we can't help it. We can do is we can help the corporates, we can help the governments to achieve, calculate, and decarbonize. But we can't help in those kind of politics. Okay, and when this kind of politics in history has come, with authoritarian democracy or authoritarian communism has come, sometime that concepts get challenged, including capitalism. Clear? So let's be aware about such kind of threats and terminology. So somebody is talking, at least we understand, and we should know that that's not our game. We cannot win that game. Okay, that game is to just push you down. So our game is that we know how to do it accurately, and how we will do will be world standard. I can see two people have raised hand, but I have to cover a lot. So quickly ask your question. And
I
I'll
just
take
have one
question.
query, maybe that CBAM is for non-EU countries and it for certain scope is limited. So what is for the EU countries, what is the equivalent? Like
Nothing.
America or somebody would have applied for them also, no?
Nothing. That is the point, no? You have to apply tariff against them. Look, CBAM is a bordered adjustment. What it means? It means that when I am selling them a product or a service, did I emitted too much carbon to produce that service? Absolutely yes. Because हमारी एनर्जी आती है टोटली डर्टी एनर्जी. दे हैव ऑलरेडी शिफ्टेड. पहले न्यूक्लियर पे थी जर्मनी, बाद में उन्होंने न्यूक्लियर से थोड़ा शिफ्ट किया आफ्टर फुकुशिमा, एंड नाउ दे आर इनटू गैस एज वेल. गैस पावर प्लांट दे आर डूइंग. उन्होंने स्मॉल मॉड्यूलर बना दिए to reduce the risk of nuclear power plant. They have reduced, so they know they have a clean energy to pump in and develop their steel, their cement. This limited scope is related to sector, right? So they know their steel is cleaner, but their steel is very costly. And in India, because we have a cheaper, and the major cost is in melting those different material minerals and creating that steel. So they know that for a fact. But they also know as a fact that this is the reason we are developing, right? नहीं तो हम भी डेवलप हो जाते हैं ना. पर कैपिटा इनकम अगर आपकी 15,000 $20,000 होती, जो कल कोई बता रहा था 100 रुपए पर डे है, अगर उसको मैं 1 लाख रुपया पर डे दे दूं, तो लगता है वो सेम चौल में रहेगा? एब्सोल्युटली लीव. जाके जाके एसी के मकान को खरीद के लेगा. हर एक दिन अगर 1 लाख कमाएगा, ऑफकोर्स खरीद लेगा, बॉम्बे में भी खरीद लेगा. सो पॉइंट ये है कि प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, we have no capacity to go to their level and they are penalizing it. So who will penalize them? For what basis? They have a basis that मेरे यहाँ कार्बन क्रेडिट $80 की बिकती है, आपके यहाँ $2 से $15 की बिकती है. Of course, now that has been changed because of we also got our own carbon credit trading scheme, CCTS unit, right? It's still not operationalized, but it is coming in. So people are adjusting their rates. And artisanal, recently, how many of you have heard about Varaha selling biochar to Google? How many have seen this news? Varaha selling biochar to Google. Biochar carbon credit to Google, okay? That two words are important. Varaha is a company which is from stable burning. They are creating biochar and selling it to Google at $100. That was the game changer. At $100. Generally in India, the rate of carbon credit is very small. And they say, I have $80, 80 euros. Now it is 100 euros. 100 euros they are selling and buying at carbon credit. When you are coming to them, you are buying at $15 to compensate it. Hence they are bringing CBAM. कि चलिए अब आपको मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं. राइट आप टैक्स पे करो मुझे, जो भी डिफरेंशियल है यू पे इनटू टैक्स. देन व्हाट इज द एडवांटेज? व्हाट इज दिस comparative advantage? A country which is specialized in certain area, they should do that only business. What is this concept? So if that concept is not followed in your country, I will also not follow. That is the tax China is doing to everyone right now. China is stopping magnet sale or rare earth sales, including few materials which are even required in your earpods, राइट. मैग्नेट जो उसके अंदर आता है उसमें भी मटेरियल लगती है, वो वही रेयर अर्थ वाली. चाइना ने स्टॉप करके रखा है. सारी कंट्री चिल्ला रहे हैं. यूएस को लगा कि वहां से हटा के इंडिया में डालेंगे तो इंडिया में से मेरे को सप्लाई चेन में स्टेबिलिटी मिलेगी. चाइना न्यू अप्रैल में एम्बार्गो लगा दिया है. अब जाके लोगों को फील होना चालू किया है, राइट. हाफ ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री हैज बिन स्ट्रगलिंग राइट नाउ. So China is putting, all other countries are trying put, but can you put CBAM back to them? Of course not. You are the emitting country, no? Your emission is very high, not theirs. Hence they have, and they have this facade. चलो अमेरिका का समझ में आता है कि he is high handing the stuff, saying that I am putting tariff. But for CBAM you have no excuse. They are just telling you कि आपका बहुत डर्टी बिजनेस है, क्लीन करो. तो क्लीन करने के लिए आप पैसे दे दो. यही तो बोल रहा है ये पब्लिक कि लो कार्बन इकोनॉमिक ट्रांजिशन के लिए हमें $1.7 ट्रिलियन चाहिए. आप दे दो, हम कर लेते हैं, फिर आपको हम सप्लाई करते हैं मटेरियल आपके कॉस्ट पे. तो आपको ग्रांट भी नहीं देना है, आपको लोन भी नहीं देना है, आपको टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर भी नहीं करनी है. यार टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर होने में 5 साल का टाइम बताया जा रहा है. एसएफ, वो जो स्मॉल, क्या नाम है उसका, SMRs, राइट, स्मॉल मॉड्यूलर रिएक्टर्स विच जर्मनी इज सपोज टू गिव. 5 साल का टाइम है उसमें. तो हम लोग क्या बैठे रहें तब तक कोल बनाते रहें, और हमारी पॉपुलेशन का कंजम्पशन बढ़ रहा है, रुका नहीं. ओके, सो आई होप आई हैव नॉट डाइवर्टेड. दिस वाज इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक, राइट एवरीवन? गिव मी दैट yes in chat box so I can go ahead. But I hope this was it is important for you to know. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you. And these are all related to decarbonization and carbon accounting. Trust me. Once I will go to the end, all this discussion will add up. सब कुछ ऐड हो जाएगा. जैसे वो मूवी में होता है ना, छोटे छोटे पीसेस होते हैं. इधर कोई ट्रेन से उतरा उस तरफ चला गया, कोई ट्रेन से उतरा दादर ईस्ट चला गया, बाद में सब जाके मिलते हैं लास्ट में. कार्बन अकाउंटिंग में सब जानना आपको जरूरी है. Okay, and that's why it is a 1 month program, so over a period you learn. Now, so global impact you have understood. Challenges are that this conference of party is never been legally binding. Only agreements which happens there becomes legally binding, and then NDCs has been created to give that CBDR a shape, right? And this many NDC have conditional component dependent on the external factors, economy, that country's direction. अब कोविड आ गया तो सारा डिस्टर्ब हुआ, राइट? सारे कंट्री ने एक्सेप्ट किया, कोई बात नहीं उस साल, और एक्चुअली हम लोगों ने बेनिफिट नहीं उठाया. कोविड वाज अ मेजर अपॉर्चुनिटी विच वर्ल्ड हैज मिस्ड ऑन द क्लाइमेट एक्शन. But of course, people should save life or save climate was the question there. So we could not take a benefit of it. Yeah. So aligning NDC with a long-term strategy. Sorry, Richa, you have a question or you were saying yes? I saw you raised a hand.
Sir, I just want to ask that will we covering the CBAM in later sessions?
No, we are not covering CBAM, but I will be, of course, question being asked and I'm trying to answer those.
Okay.
CBAM, मैं क्यों नहीं कवर कर रहा हूँ उसका रीजन है डॉक्टर रिचा. CBAM is a totally debatable stuff right now. I am a firm believer that government of India will negotiate with Europe and get out of it at least with a lesser penalty than other companies. And hence, anything you learn today will be useless.
Okay.
Yeah, people are making money. This is a money making factory की CBAM में पढ़ाई. क्या पढ़ाओगे CBAM में? टैक्स है भाई. टैक्स का फॉर्मेट बेस्ड ऑन द गवर्नमेंट के डिसीजन पे होता है. आज गवर्नमेंट अग्री कर रही है, कल नहीं करेगी. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रिमेंबर वोडाफोन है हचीसन, वो पग्स का वाला एड आता था और जुजू का एक एड आता था, राइट? ये दो मर्ज हुए. टैक्सेशन बचाने के लिए दोनों कंपनियों ने जाके केमन आइलैंड में और नीदरलैंड से केमन आइलैंड में दोनों आए और डील किया. वापस इंडिया में जब डील हो गया तो गवर्नमेंट आफ्टर 5 ईयर 10 ईयर 20 ईयर आज तक लड़ाई चालू है. So taxation is always debatable topic and taxation itself is a different discussion. However, CBAM is required right now for people to produce to European countries. European country में अगर आपका export है तो they are asking कि आप CBAM लेके आओ. So you have to prepare and note down how much of carbon footprint emissions you are doing and where they are coming from those emissions and are these taxable. So you have to start reporting. 2026 में it will get implemented. यूके वाला इज कमिंग इन 2025 एंड में. यूके का भी सीबैम है, वो इंडिपेंडेंट है ना, दे आर नॉट नो लॉन्गर पार्ट ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनियन आफ्टर ब्रेक्सिट. सो दे हैव देयर ओन, बट पीपल आर सेइंग दैट दे विल अग्री एट 10%. एंड हेंस आई एम ऑल्सो फॉर्म बिलीवर दैट वंस वी विल अग्री विथ यूके, क्योंकि बीटीए साइन हो गया है, ओनली टॉपिक इन बीटीए इज लेफ्ट इज सीबैम, bilateral trade agreement with UK. We have signed, right? Prime Minister Modi was there to sign it. Now, we are expecting similar stuff, negotiated, well placed, and now China is doing a really nasty stuff. So we have a reason to do it. कि फिर ना आप कुछ को चाइना का भी बर्दाश्त करना पड़ेगा. हम तो एडजस्ट कर लेंगे, चाइना नहीं करेगा, right? So of course it's a matter of foreign stuff. That's why I'm not taking it. But आप क्वेश्चन पूछोगे तो definitely we will dwell upon it at some point in time. Clear?
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
5-point plan for next generation NDCs, which are critical to understand, starts with that 2025 में stock take होना था और होगा, which will revise in 2030. Every 5 year में stock take होता है. और क्यों होता है? क्योंकि NDC is a free form, right? जिसको जितना करना है चंदा देना है, right? किसी को मालूम नहीं, चंदा दे दो. But somebody has to know that how much you contributed towards it. And that stock take happens only in once in 5 years. लास्ट ईयर रिपोर्ट प्रोड्यूस हुआ, इस साल में सारे कंट्री ने बताना है कि आपने उस पर एक्शन क्या लिया हुआ है. सेकंड Accelerated transformation is purpose here with ambitious sectoral target. Certain sector को टारगेट करके हर एक कंट्री एक्शन ले रही है. ये एनडीसी में फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है. आप कोई भी सेक्टर सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो और उस पर काम कर सकते हो. इंडिया ने किस पे लिया हुआ है कि हम लोग कोल रिड्यूस नहीं कर पाएंगे because that is the cheapest source available in India right now to generate energy. But we will leverage the solar and renewable energy. Solar, wind, hydro, even geothermal. Geothermal is coming big way in 2-3 states. One, of course, Ladakh is identified and happening there in big way. Yeah, underground चल रहा है, but बहुत बड़ा वहां source है हमारे पास. And 2 more states, which has been recognized that geothermal can be captured. वो मतलब अर्थ के कोर में जाके वहां से एनर्जी लेके आना है. नाउ सो दैट इज हाउ वी आर एक्सेलरेटिंग. सो एवरी कंट्री हैज देयर फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. कोस्टारिका का एक केस स्टडी हम लोग करते हैं क्लास में, ग्रुप एक्टिविटी. आप देखोगे कि वहां का सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज है वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, टूरिज्म पे काम कर रहे हैं. वही एक कंट्री है जहां पे क्लीन टूरिज्म है, कैरेबियन में क्लीन टूरिज्म देते हैं वो लोग. आपको कार्बन क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा टूरिज्म करने का, और क्या चाहिए लाइफ में. Clear? So this is the second one. Third one is resilience, is a word which was coined relating to NDC. Each country has its own resilience mechanism. Resilience is nothing but कि adoption कैसे किया जाए कि you remain relevant. Adoption एक मिटिगेशन है जो आप रिडक्शन करते हो या टारगेट करते हो रिड्यूस करने का अपना कार्बन इमिशन, दैट इज मिटिगेशन. और या अवॉइड करते हो, दैट इज मिटिगेशन. एक है वो तो नेचुरली हो रहा है, आप उसको अवॉइड ही नहीं कर सकते हो. क्लियर? सो उसके लिए एडॉप्शन करना पड़ता है. एंड दैट एडॉप्शन क्रिएट्स द रेजिलियंस. एंड हेंस दीज आर अपोजिट साइड ऑफ द सेम कॉइन. Adoption and resilience are opposite side of the same coin. Clear? So building that resilience in society also requires investment, right? जैसे कि आप मुंबई में गए होगे मरीन ड्राइव पे, सो विल सी बिग बिग बोल्डर्स लास्ट 10 ईयर से लगाए गए हैं. क्लियर? वो ट्राइपेजॉइडियल्स टू फॉर व्हाट? टू प्रोटेक्ट आवर मरीन ड्राइव नेकलेस. क्लियर? नहीं तो वो रोड हो जाता, आज तक बचता नहीं. सो दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन और क्रिएशन ऑफ रेजिलियंस. सोसाइटी की रेजिलियंस भी बढ़ानी होगी. अभी हम लोग एंटीवायरस ले रहे हैं कोविड का, कुछ दिनों के बाद कुछ और का लेंगे. कुछ लेना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? अब तो वो गारंटीड है कि हर एक साल थोड़ा बहुत आएगा. अभी कुछ दिन पहले बैंगलोर में था कोविड वायरस, पुणे में था एक नया वायरस, 100 लोग 200 लोग. तो अब तो लोग कॉन्शियस हो गए हैं. But COVID comes only once in a 100 year. Maybe now that will be reduced to 50 year, which will be devastating again one. But people have predicted every year there will be some kind of COVID. So we need to create a resilience against that as well. By the way, there is another fundamental which says that because of climate action and biodiversity loss, वही था ना, चमगादड़ लोग खाना चालू किए, वो भी excessive खा रहे थे. Bats, we were eating too much, too many bats Chinese were eating, and hence that ecosystem got disturbed and those viruses of bats came inside human being. Another conspiracy theory that they developed it, they thought let's test it, and they do it, it is officially allowed. कितने लोगों को मालूम है कि देयर वाज अ क्या बड़ा फेमस वायरस है वेस्ट अफ्रीका में होता है, हुआ था मैसिव अमाउंट. मिडिल ईस्ट भी.
So
Zika
Zika
virus.
virus.
Zika virus.
No, Zika virus is Brazilian, right? That was Latin American one.
Is it anthrax?
एंथ्रैक्स नहीं है. एंथ्रैक्स तो एंथ्रैक्स वायरस.
Nepa. Nepa.
हाँ.
नेपा तो आपके केरला में मिला था, वो भी आया है उधर से ही, लेकिन नेपा में केरला में मिला था पहला इंडिया वाला. वो भी नहीं, एक है जो वेरी फेमस है, वो कोलाई से होता है, कोलाई टाइप का है वो.
Polite.
नहीं नहीं, इकोक्लाई तो नॉर्मल है. It's a very famous West African virus which impacts the coastal region of West Africa, and whole world was afraid of that. Point which I was trying to highlight, they were doing research 20 years back on the same virus to develop it, to check how this virus impacts.
Ebola virus, I think.
Absolutely, Ebola virus. Ebola virus, check the history and you will understand that every country is doing. It's not limited to only China or Africa or Italy or France. Every country tests that. But when you do at massive scale and don't tell to common institution like World Health Organization, then people are worried about you कि आप उसको bio war में use करने वाले हो, right? So for that purpose also they do. but they also do for the purpose of कि उसकी हमें रेजिलियंस कितनी है ह्यूमन पे, आ सकता है क्या ह्यूमन पे, तो वो टेस्टिंग हमेशा होती है, तो कोई नई बात नहीं थी। बात नहीं उसमें ये थी कि लोग वुहान में छुपा के ये कर रहे थे, दे वर हाइडिंग दिस स्टफ एंड टेस्टिंग इट, दैट्स व्हाट पीपल हैव रेज्ड रेड फ्लैग फॉर। ओके, वी हैव ऑलरेडी क्रॉस 9। ओके, सो टॉपिक बहुत वास्ट है, एंड सो लेट्स let's focus on the main topic first, and then we can spread ourselves. So Paris Agreement, we have seen the photographs. What are the key provision? I have already shown you 3. These are the 6 in total which has been identified in Paris Agreement 2015. You guys have covered it well, so I'm not going to go into detail of the same. Here, what is the role of carbon market? Now again, one activity we generally do is check with you. Tell me, carbon markets are a boon or a bane? Everyone, one line only. According to you, first, yes, if you think it is boon. No, if you think people are using as a shield and emitting
Both.
of carbon dioxide. Bane. So that is your first statement. And second statement, why you think. एक line, ज़्यादा बड़ा theory नहीं चाहिए. Quick, let's do.
Both. Because in some industries, we can't really cut down the carbon. In that case, they can go ahead and buy the carbon credits. So it's a good thing. But there are some companies which...
No, एक side विनय, let's take one side of the
okay, yeah.
one side of the discussion. Choose one side. So you have chosen it's a boon, and the reason is some industry cannot abate their emissions.
Correct, yeah.
Dr. Deepa.
सर पहले बून क्या होता है सर? बून जो दो
we can
वर्ड है।
control.
Sorry, come again, doctor. And then I'm coming to Ajay.
Yeah, we can control the carbon dioxide emissions if there is any norms or standards are there. If it is not there, then I think we will continue to emit, and then it can reach that global boiling and beyond that. So I think that it's necessary and it's a boon.
It's a boon. Okay, good. Ajay, आप बोल रहे थे it's
सर
boon.
what is the word? I didn't understand.
boon मतलब it is beneficial for you. मतलब हमारे लिए beneficial है.
Boon means वरदान. वरदान अजय जी.
Correct. Good.
Okay.
Yes, अजय. आपका ओपिनियन कि मयूर के पास जाऊं?
मयूर के पास चले जाइए सर.
ओके. मयूर बताइए, आप बताइए प्लीज.
अच्छा सर, इट्स अ boon.
Okay, आपके लिए boon है.
Any such thing comes up, so if there is some activity, then obviously there would be benefits and non-benefits both.
नहीं मेरे को क्यों, आप एक साइड लीजिए.
मैं एक साइड लेता हूँ. If we take the benefit part, then there are things that can be developed or invented or produced to take care of.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Majhar, आप बोलिए.
But some companies will feel like they have license to pollute.
Okay, so you think it's a bane?
Yeah.
Okay, so after 3 person, 1 person is saying bane. Next.
Sir, it is
Jyoti.
It is pain, because it is very tough task to control the emissions.
Dr. Richa says it's a tough task to control the emissions. So you are taking boon or bane?
Sir, pain.
आपने ही अभी boon लिया था ना?
No, sir.
अच्छा, आपने नहीं लिया था. Okay, but मुझे लगा आपने ही बोला. Okay, no problem. ज्योति, आप?
Sir, I would say bane because currently all are confused. Nobody actually know what the carbon emission means actually. Because in most of the industry, we see that in the name of sustainability, we are taking initiative which are actually not an initiative.
Okay.
Like sometimes we say we are making our building single-use plastic free, which is not possible at all. But still we are using those words. And again, if you can see one more thing, the EV vehicles. Most of the EV vehicles use lithium-ion battery, and as on today, we do not know how to dispose of those lithium-ion battery without any impact to the environment.
So you think it is a carbon market?
It's confusing, for
एक साइड लेना पड़ेगा ज्योति आपको. You have to take one side.
Bane.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So we
Sir,
have
it is
now
good.
equal.
Bone bin में I am confusing, so it is good because it's using by the plants and other things. अगर नहीं होगा, then the plant will die like that.
Okay, you are a businessman, Ajay. So you are saying it's a big boon. Businessman के लिए, of course, it is a boon. Absolutely. Shraddha,
Sorry.
आते आते वापस आते.
I think it's a bane because there is no regulations right now and transparency भी नहीं है, तो लोग इसको बहुत misuse करेंगे. Government policies आनी चाहिए तभी ये boon बनेगा.
Okay, so you think it's a bane. Okay, good. So we
I
have now
think
bane winning.
there are two, right? One is regulated one is voluntary carbon markets. There are
Correct.
two.
Both are there. Yes.
Okay, yeah. And I wanted to give one valid point on the Bain part. Even though I supported the Moon first, the one thing is, large corporates. I come from financial background, so that's why I'm putting this across. A lot of corporations, what they do is they manipulate in the valuation of these credits. There is no way how to value these credits. If you go back and see in 2008 or 9, that's when the financial derivatives came and the valuation was a mess. A similar thing now we are experiencing from the financial accounting point of view. In balance sheet, P&L account, they can do whatever they want. They can play around, with it.
मजा आएगा इस बार के डिबेट में. गुड जॉब डन विनय. चलिए, बट लुक, यू आर टॉकिंग टू टेक्निकल, तो उसको थोड़ा नॉर्मलाइज करके लेमैन लैंग्वेज में आपको बताना होगा. यू आर गेटिंग इन्फ्लुएंस बाय योर नॉलेज. But good stuff. What you said was very good stuff. Okay. But which one? Ben or Boon? Did you shift it towards Shraddha,
I mean,
Jyoti?
I sort of 50-50.
ना
We
ना,
need.
अलाउड ही नहीं है ना विनय. आपको एक साइड लेना होगा अभी. For today, you have to take one side.
Okay, I'll still stick with the Moon.
Boon, okay, fair. चलिए,
Yeah.
तो फिर भी बेन वाले विनर्स हो रहे हैं अभी. तो लेट्स गो.
4 all.
या 4 all. अच्छा, 4 all हो गया. आप काउंट कर रहे
हाँ,
हो?
4 चालू है दोनों साइड.
ओके, लेट्स गो टू वैद्यनाथन जी. What do you think? Is it a bane or boon based on what you understand?
I will go for Bane since a lot of boons are there. Bane, because all the efforts what we do, somebody can monetize, and then our country cannot take credit, or the respective industries cannot take credit, even after putting so much of efforts. It looks like we are losing the thing. So I think it's a Bane.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Everybody will use this as a shield and not do anything. The people who will do lot of mitigation, adoption, they will be at loss. Good point there. Absolutely good point. Majar is done. अब्दुल्ला, आज आपका हो गया ना?
नहीं सर.
तो बताइए.
For me, I think it's a boon. Actually, and more awareness has to be created. Otherwise, it's a boon because we have lots of opportunities to take initiative for reduction of carbon. So I personally feel it's a boon. But only thing is awareness and sensitization among the regulations or regulatory authorities has to be created. Also among the people also.
Right. Okay. So you say boon. Okay. So boon main again 5 equal. So who is the tiebreaker?
But Hyderabad, so what will you call this Hyderabad to cut down the forest? The government itself was doing it. So
वो
I
उस पे
don't
आते
like
हैं.
it.
मुंबई में कट हुआ है, हैदराबाद में हो रहा है, दिल्ली में होने वाला है. उस पे आते हैं. एक मिनट पहले मुझे क्लोज करने दीजिए बून और मेन. We have Parth as a tiebreaker, right, Parth? Dr. Deepa has taken Boon, right? Parth.
So I think it's Bane because the framework is not very strong and it can be manipulated and exploited by uh, people. So yes, I think it's a Bane. Yes.
So we have a tie.
No,
We have a
Yes.
tie, right?
we have a lot of registry, right? You can't just take one project and say I will issue the carbon credit. They have to go through a lot of audit. I mean, it's just that we need to know how carbon market works.
Right.
I support again.
Right. Okay. So good. So we have the exactly what market belief is. The group reflects exactly what market belief is. 50% of the people think it is a boon. 50% people think it is a bane. And lot of filters are there. Now, my responsibility, along with yours, is that let's learn deeper and go to that depth where we should be able to take one side, but with a rationality. We are a rational, human being is always rational. To have that rationality, information has to be there. So point made by everyone looks genuine, but depth is missing. Vinay tried to muddle around. He was trying to bring the depth, and he did that. Okay, I want everybody to understand both sides equally. Boon or bane doesn't matter. It is boon when you have no option, and it is bane. It is bane when you have option. But you have to understand throughout this session going forward that white is boon and white is bane. Yeah. Today you saw both side of arguments. It's a starting, but as we will go deep in the last day, my understanding is that you will have a lot of clarity. So when you will say bane or boon, you will be knowing not 10 reasons behind it. Okay. However, if a moral optimist, I believe it is a boon. Okay. If somebody asks me, I will always say it is a boon. Why? And every problem which you have identified and said bane, I will defend it. If I will say boon. But if you will say boon, I will say it is bane because I know what Vinay is saying is correct as well. Right? Or the people who are saying bane, they have a point to say. But that's a matter of how much of understanding we are creating. This is a start. Just I am asking, and this is a very critical debate which we have to understand, adopt, and inculcate to understand such kind of tax and incentive. First of all, carbon markets are creation of incentive mechanism in the government institution. It's a part of incentive. अगर ये मार्केट नहीं रहेगा तो क्या रहेगा आपको मालूम है? जो श्रद्धा पूछ रही थी कि उन्होंने हम पे लगाया, हम भी लगा सकते हैं क्या? टैक्स. If carbon markets are not there, then tax will come into play. एवरी गवर्नमेंट स्टार्ट्स विथ इंसेंटिव. कैरेट फर्स्ट, टीवी ले लो, इलेक्शन टाइम में आपने सुना होगा, राइट? ज्वेलरी ले लो, राइट? एंड वंस यू हैव टेकन दैट ज्वेलरी, पूरा 5 साल आपसे वो ज्वेलरी आपका लेके जाएंगे, आपके घर वाला भी, आपको पता नहीं है. सिमिलरली इन एवरी गवर्नमेंट स्टार्ट्स विथ इंसेंटिव. If you agree to that incentive and start working towards your mitigation, well and good. If you will not do it, they will bring tax. So which one is good now? Goodies, at least that time happy हो जाता आदमी, gift मिला, or the tax which will be there for 5 years. That's the decision with information we should be making. Clear? Article 6 is that chapter from where the role of carbon market has come in. Country can trade their emissions and reduction under 6.4 ITMOS, we call them. And then we also incentivize the cost effective mitigation. This is one way of cost effective mitigation. Trust me, Africa, India, all of this country is now getting aware कि बॉस खाली लैंड से भी, जो फार्म में लैंड में अभी क्रॉप यील्ड नहीं हो रही है, फ्रॉम देयर ऑल्सो आई कैन मेक सम मनी. So the guy who used to make 100 rupees a day is going to get $10 भी उसको मिल रहा है. आर्टिसनल में तो $120 तक हमारे लास्ट बैच में एक बंदा था, वो बना के दे रहा है आर्टिसनल में. But only condition is 25 farmer has to come together. He's giving it in Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore में. He is coming and providing it through community activities. $120, right? Which is exactly what the European trading CCTS markets are providing for. Africa. Now, yes, it is becoming advantage to developing an underdeveloped country. Who is benefiting? The European countries. They are emitting khulle mein and then going and buying from here. And that's the debate I wanted to have. And thank you. You guys have done justice to it, right? Few of you are trying to switch, which I didn't like. Now, पेरिस एग्रीमेंट प्रोग्रेस में क्या क्या हुआ है? ग्लोबल स्टेक हो रही है, रेगुलर है, लॉन्ग टर्म स्ट्रैटेजीज आर इन प्लेस नाउ, पेरिस रूल बुक हैज बीन क्रिएटेड एंड ट्रांजिशन अवे फ्रॉम फॉसिल फ्यूल is in progress. It's happening. It cannot happen in a day, but there are some encouraging numbers like 53 billion tons of carbon dioxide has been emitted in 22-23. 22 specifically, World Data Center gives you that data. But if you see the same data in 24 and 25, that number has reduced to somewhere 40 billion tons to 45 billion ton. So even though 5-10 billion ton adjustment has happened in emissions, it's a big achievement, right? It is not according to our net zero targets, but at least it is a big achievement. And we knew that slowly we will go up and then it will come down. And that's the glide path. Whenever I talk about glide path, based on which temperature line you are taking, these are temperature line on the right hand side, right? Which temperature line you are taking, that becomes your glide path. All glide paths will have a little bump like slider. आपने बच्चों का अगर स्लाइडर देखा हो तो इस स्टेयर से वो लोग ऊपर जाते हैं, थोड़ा सा कर्व होता है और फिर वो स्लाइड पाथ उनको नीचे लाता है सेफली. This is exactly that glide path on the slider is that we want to come down but not abruptly, straight line में नहीं आना है, slowly आना है. And that's how the 1.5 degree centigrade temperature line or 2 degree centigrade temperature line or NDC based lines are possible. NDC based line means sometime it will go very high based on the condition of that country and sometime they will try to drop it suddenly. वो थोड़ा jerk related है. Now understand NDC has this inherited problem. What is the inherited problem? इसमें jerks बहुत आएंगे. Some year you will see some countries excessively emitting and some year they are trying to mute this emission. Clear? Now that is what we are looking for. So NDC के ये following left hand side वाला graph is following guideline. So basically in 2018, after 16 agreement signed and got effective only in 16. Okay. Adoption of Paris Agreement happened and then they facilitated the dialogue. In 2019, basically if you see Secretary General Climate Summit has happened and he approved it. 2020, the communication of new or updated in NDC happened for the first time after Paris Agreement. 2020 में first time reporting हुई. Then came 2023 where global stake was initiated. 2024 last year we got the numbers and the numbers were really not encouraging, right? We came to know it. So we have crossed 1.1, we are near to 1.4. This year we know 2024 was 1.5. Yeah, that was another wrong number, Mayurji. You only published that article and when you were speaking, I think you missed it if I was hearing correctly. You said it is 1.2 degrees centigrade in 2025. 2025, communication of new updated NDC will happen. So this year, people will again agree that what is their next 5-year plan and how they are going to achieve. So we are waiting. Already 28 countries has submitted and there are more than 78 countries have agreed to net zero. 2028 we are going to have that again stock take activity starting. So people, you have to take 2 years to start this stock take activity and 2030 they will produce the second one. Here the real picture will emerge. Why? Because most of the country has taken 2050 or 2060 or 2070 net zero targets, but 2030 is their first real checkpoint. Clear? Where net zero and climate resilience will be decided in 2030 because intensity everybody wants to reduce the carbon intensity by 45% by 2030. Even India wants to reduce that 1 billion tons. Now this is your second project for tomorrow morning will be that you have to find out what are those 5 panchamrit which we have agreed for 2030 and what are the targets we have taken for net zero. In 2070 में क्या होगा, 2030 में क्या होगा? Vinay, do you know it?
I think I called out, right? If I'm not wrong, in the India 5.7.
Yeah, that is it. Just find it out, put your own summary and post it in the group. Everyone, please post it. Let other people know you are working. And you can use the main group as well. Anything which you think is justifiable enough to put into main group and showcase your work, do it. This is your chance. Let people know you are doing something. So in the big group as well, you can post this kind of item because they have not done that exercise. So you can post and they will be really happy with seeing some new information. Okay. Now, this gets updated every 5 years. That's a generalistic terminology. Country specific emission reduction plan is called nationally determined contribution. It is a cornerstone of our Paris Agreement. NDCs are cornerstone for that. Each country can develop its own climate action plan based on their capability, outlining how they can reduce their emission, how much they want to adopt as a climate change. All that will decide that which glide path they will take, and NDC gives them that opportunity to take that freedom. It gives them the freedom. NDCs are nothing but freedom given to the country to set their own glide path towards net zero. Eventually, you have to reach to net zero, right? NDCs are updated every 5 years, and countries are expected to increase their ambitions in response to the global stock take. So last year, if you have not performed according to the glide path, you need to take next 5 year more aggressive stance. And that commitment only happens on those 5 year intervals. The flexible approach is basically to accommodate the national circumstances, basically is putting the collective progress towards the global goal. Now, these are the 10 different aspects of NDC actions. So anybody who is taking action, they are taking either of these 10 areas or all of them. So mitigation targets you have to fix towards 1.5 degree temperature setting. That how you will be achieving that temperature rise should not exceed 1.5 degree. Engagement is a core here, right? Cities, states, everybody has to come together. This 100 city plan, how many of you know a smart city, 100 smart cities in India?
Yes, Modi ji started in
Modi ji
2014.
started, yeah.
The end of the end game is here, NDC. They wanted all these cities to get their own energy, they become more sustainable. The end game was sustainable, but if they could have said sustainable, nobody would even tried it. बट दे मेड इट स्टफ कि नेशन के लिए चाहिए, सब पीछे लग गए, किया भी बहुत लोगों ने, फेलियर है. अगेन स्टैटिस्टिक्स, इट इज अ फेलियर, लेट्स एक्सेप्ट दैट एज अ फैक्ट टिल टुडे. Maybe in future it will pick it up, but at least somebody tried. People have competed each other, and benefit is being seen. One of the best benefit is a second tier city called Indore. How many of you know it's a smart city, green city, most sustainable city, and
Most cleanest city is Indore. Yes.
cleanest city?
Navi Mumbai is
Consecutively
third, huh?
8 time winner.
Sorry.
Mumbai is third
Navi
number.
Mumbai third, huh?
Third number.
Mysore is there from Karnataka, right? Mysore.
Mysore is there.
yeah.
Absolutely, Mysore is there.
Before Indore, Mysore used to be in
Yeah,
8 years, 6 years back there.
true.
But this time, Indore consecutively 8th year
Correct.
winner.
Yeah, they are doing it, and you land the airport, and you will see the difference.
Yes,
Well,
correct.
I have seen personally myself when I travel to Indore.
Right.
So from airport, if I go by car, then in the night time, all this municipal sweeping work is carried out
Correct.
entire night.
Very
And
high.
every crossing, there are washrooms for ladies, gents separate.
True.
There are dustbins kept
Correct.
at
And they
all
have
bus
that
stops.
green. They have that differentiating dustbin.
Yes.
That's a
Yes,
rare
yes,
part.
And,
correct.
That's a
and
rare.
comparatively, I see in Mumbai, you go on any highway, even for 1 kilometer, you won't find a single washroom or anything.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are paid ones, but they are also very dirty. Somehow they deteriorated. Earlier they were very good. When we were a student, we used to use those. And
But
now
now even those are not there, sir.
it's not there, huh? It
No,
reduced.
no. Even express highway going towards
हाँ, express highway पे तो
coming
नहीं है.
back from Pune,
पुणे मुंबई is not
तो
there.
एक था वो भी उसको बंद कर दिया अंडर रिपेयर.
या होटल्स है ना, अब तो होटल में पैसे आते हैं.
But
चलिए.
even that is quite far, sir. See, everyone will not go over there.
True, I agree with you. Maxim, but anyway, those are political. Again, it is, it's such kind of issues are always politics. Always politics. Unfortunately, it's not sustainability, it's sustainable politic. Now, maximize the impact is the third target, ASI. How many of you understand ASI? Yeah, adopt, shift, or improve. Either of these two
Yes,
options are
correct.
given. Either you adopt the climate change, or you start shifting towards net zero or low carbon economies, or improvise the system which you have currently. That's the mechanism under NDC is applied. Finance and investment is another fact which every country wants to have. Unfortunately, even multilateral development banks are not able to fulfill the requirement which the countries has today. Massive deficit and gap is there. That's why Vinay Kumar, all these people are trying to bridge this gap, including me. Yeah, we bring those green funds in India and try to invest in India so that we have that gap. And there is an advantage if you bring these green funds, they are at very cheap cost in an international market. In India, unfortunately, neither we have bond advantage. Bond costlier है. Normal bond से costly bond है green bond. Who will buy? करेक्ट। एक तो लॉन्ग टर्म विजन होता है इसमें, मतलब एक दिन में तो रोड बनता नहीं ना, रोड के लिए 25 साल का वेट है, टोल टैक्स से पैसे लेने हैं। इवन दो दीज गाइज आर मेकिंग इन 3 ईयर 5 ईयर दे आर गेटिंग their return of investment in tolls, if you know the roads network, but they are not paying it to the government. Yeah. So planning tool are also available. Adoption, electrification, freight and aviation and maritime remains the focus for across countries. Across world, these are the 4 key area where major input is required. And for that input, you require massive amount of money, specifically for funding clean energy transitions. Clean energy transition is a lose-lose game of today. नॉट विन विन। लोग बोलते हैं विन विन है, विन विन है। अरे विन विन उसके लिए है जिसके पास कैपिटल है। आपके पास ना कैपिटल है ना कोई आपको कैपिटल दे रहा है, देन इट इज अ लूज लूज गेम। And that is why government of India, even in their Navratnas, they started separating out renewable energy projects. For example, NTPC, they have launched 2 new company in last year and this year, and they have increased the funding there now. You are aware about it, right? NTPC has launched one nuclear power plant company, independent, and one green company. Earlier, they have allocated only $7,000 as a capital, 7,000 crores. Now they have increased it to 25,000 crores. Just day before yesterday news. Okay. Why? Because they know right now if they go into the market, they will get fund. SBI, after 15-20 years, they have launched the equity raise. They got again 25,000 crores. Easily पैसे मिल रहे हैं, अच्छी कंपनियों को पैसे मिल रहे हैं, लेकिन केवल अच्छी को मिल रहे हैं। ये ट्रबल है। और क्लीन ट्रांजिशन में भी विजिबिलिटी नहीं मिलती। gestation period is very high. From shifting coal to any other energy source will require massive amount of upskilling. Social problem है। That is why a new word has been coined called just transition. कितने लोगों ने सुना है just transition?
Yes.
This is the term that because upskilling भी चाहिए ना, वहां की इकोनॉमी डिस्टर्ब होने वाली है अगर आपने थर्मल पावर प्लांट बंद कर दिया।
Yes.
कितने लोगों का जॉब जाएगा, राइट? और
Social
उनको
impact.
आप ठीक है, लेबर्स को आप सिखा सकते हो कि भाई यहाँ पे आप कोयला को ब्रेक करते थे, यू आर ब्रेकिंग द कोल, देयर यू गो एंड स्टार्ट इंस्टॉलिंग सोलर पैनल्स। बट व्हाट विल यू डू विद द इंजीनियर्स? आर यू गेटिंग अ पॉइंट? अब वो इंजीनियरिंग करके उसको 20 साल हो चुके हैं, उसका 15 साल और रिटायरमेंट में है, और आप उसको वॉलेंटरी रिटायरमेंट दोगे तो वो पॉपुलेशन जाएगी कहाँ जिसने वो गवर्नमेंट जॉब करके लिया था एनटीपीसी में? ही हैज नॉट गॉन टू अ प्राइवेट कंपनी, ही हैज गॉन टू अ नवरत्ना। So that will be massive problem for people, right? And that's why upskilling is required right now, and that's why I do this. It's the most important aspect for engineers, health safety officer to understand the ground reality. एआई आधे जॉब खत्म करेगा और उसके बाद आधे जॉब, ऑफ कोर्स 25-30% ऑफ द जॉब्स ऑफ टुडे विल रिमेन देयर आफ्टर 50 ईयर, इवन 100 ईयर, बट 75% विल चेंज, एंड दैट्स इकोनॉमिक्स। नथिंग वाज प्लेन इकोनॉमिक्स। एवरी 20 ईयर में जॉब का पैटर्न चेंज होता है, हो रहा है। 20 ईयर पहले क्या हुआ था सबको मालूम है। बीपीओ आया था, आईटी आया था, सारे लोग घुस गए। आज हम लोग लीड कर रहे हैं उसमें। बीपीओ चला गया, बाय द वे, कितने को मालूम है? बीपीओ इज गॉन, केपीओ केम गॉन, वो भी चला गया। अब तो एजेंटिक एआई है। मालूम नहीं, लोग जीसीसी बोल रहे हैं उसको। जीसीसी रिसर्च के लिए आया है, राइट? रिसर्च मैकेनिज्म के लिए जीसीसी आया है, ग्लोबल कैपेसिटी सेंटर। बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड जॉब चेंजेस, यू हैव टू चेंज अकॉर्डिंगली। Clear? So that is required just transition, that society and the technology both get changed, और दोनों में पैसे लगाने होंगे। $100 billion एनुअली रिक्वायर्ड था इवन कोयोटो प्रोटोकॉल में। 200 बिलियन का डिमांड था। अग्रीमेंट कितने लोगों ने देखा? हो कौन कर रहे थे? COP3 कौन ग्रुप कर रहा था COP3? वहां पे अग्रीमेंट यही थी कि डेवलप कंट्री विल गिव एवरी ईयर 100 to 200 billion dollars. And this was which year? 1997, 2005 में इंप्लीमेंट हो गया. आज 2025 में, even though after implementation 20 year, you are saying you will give 200 billion in total annually. India has registered COP29 का agreement on loss and damage fund. How many of you remember? What was the India demand? The lady, the IS officer who was representing India's secretary, who was representing her meme went viral. It was not meme, it was a speech which went viral. She was saying very strong point. One of the major points she didn't agree for, India said that even though you use inflation from Kyoto Protocol timeline, 20 साल में आपको लगता है वो 100 बिलियन 200 बिलियन 200 बिलियन ही होना चाहिए? किसी को अंदाजा है कि 20 साल में कितना इन्फ्लेशन होना चाहिए? 7% भी आप ले लो तो कम से कम 4 टाइम होना चाहिए. इंडिया वॉज आस्किंग $1.7 trillion. दे सेड आई विल अग्री एट लीस्ट $1.2 trillion. दिया कितना इन लोगों ने? दो $200 billion per year, that too after 2030 or 35. I don't remember the exact date. Yeah, now it looks like we are going beyond time today. But trust me, the time will always exceed. So anybody who has occupancy, I'm sorry, but keep your up to 10 o'clock free. आप बीच में dinner कर सकते हो. I will allow. You can switch off your camera and eat. But such kind of discussion we can't avoid. Okay, and this is the flow. If I will stop, I cannot catch up here again tomorrow. Clear? That's why sometime we take little extra time. Keep your 10 o'clock up to 10 o'clock calendar free. You can take your dinner in between. I won't mind it. Then comes the assessing climate risk. I need another 5 minutes and I will close because I see 1 or 2% is about to go and they are saying they have some obligations. Assessing climate risk and impact, right? So first point of assessing climate risk is vulnerability, which we have understood, right? The exposure, sensitivity and adaptive capacity of different city, country are different. सबसे best example है Haiti. How many of you know Haiti? Haiti is a country next to, it's a Latin American country, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
कितने लोगों को मालूम है वहां पे एक सुनामी आई थी, पूरा का पूरा हेती वाइप ऑफ होने के कगार पे था, सारे के घर उड़ गए थे. या डिड हेती इमिटेड कार्बन इमिशन? पॉपुलेशन जाके चेक करना आप उसका. व्हाई दे सफर्ड ह्यूज लॉसेस. एक सिटी थी यूएस में, वेरी फेमस, के से नाम था, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग. वहां पे भी उसी, मतलब पीपल वर कंपेयरिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर सुनामी.
कांसास,
Kansas,
कांसास, कांसास और केंटुकी.
वो दोनों नहीं थे, तीसरा था कोई. एनीवे आई विल रिमेंबर एंड आई विल टेल यू दैट स्टोरी. पीपल वर कंपेयरिंग विद दैट पर्टिकुलर हरिकेन टू हेती हरिकेन. Yeah, and even Qatar has funded. Qatar went there to fund that city, and that's how Qatar and America became very good friends. नहीं तो because of Saddam Hussein, there was a tussle, right? Qatar, they were trying to protect, and Qatar, anybody's US protect, sometime they need a support from that country as well. So anyway, that Katrina was that hurricane which devastated one of the cities in United States. Katrina hurricane, yeah. So that is how the vulnerability assessment is important here. Any climate risk, you need to do the vulnerability assessment based on the exposure, sensitivity to particular aspect of impact, and adaptive capacity and communities and system to climate change. Then comes the risk analysis itself. Identifying and quantifying the potential risk and consequences of climate change is getting reported in terms of economic losses, health impact and ecosystem degradation. सो इसकी रिस्क एनालिसिस आप कैसे करते हैं? इन तीनों फैक्टर पे इंपैक्ट देख के. कौन से फैक्टर है? इकोनॉमिक इंपैक्ट, हेल्थ इंपैक्ट एंड इकोसिस्टम डिग्रेडेशन, वेयर बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस इज अ मेजर प्रॉब्लम. क्लियर? सो रिस्क एनालिसिस में आता है. सिनारियो एनालिसिस इज द अल्टीमेट गेम. Ultimate game for climate change is Scenario analysis. Why? Because at that point in time, you make sure that all factors and parameters are negative or positive together. सिनारियो में सारे पैरामीटर्स को निगेटिव या पॉजिटिव करते हैं, सेंसिटिविटी में एक करते हैं. दैट्स द डिफरेंस. आप एक एस्पेक्ट को वहां पे एक्सट्रीम करके देखते हो कि कार्बन इमिशन बहुत हो गया, सोशल वाला नहीं देखेंगे, लेकिन आपने कार्बन इमिशन, सोशल इंपैक्ट, इकोनॉमिक डिग्रेडेशन, इकोसिस्टम डिग्रेडेशन सारे को ऐड करके एक ही बार निगेटिव बनाया और उसके बाद जो आपको पोजीशन दिखती है, दैट इज द पोजीशन, इज अ अल्टीमेट गेम इन क्लाइमेट सिनारियो प्लानिंग. क्लियर? सो डिफरेंट क्लाइमेट चेंजेस सिनारियो प्लानिंग क्रिएट्स दैट एडॉप्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट कितनी होनी चाहिए और डिसीजन मेकिंग को एक आइडिया मिलता है कि मैक्सिमम कितना जाएगा. National adoption plans, NAPs, come from here. India has implemented that, NAPCC, if you know. Yeah, which later on in July 2023 has developed. Carbon market, right? CEA का भी उसमें contribution था. So that body is called NAPCC. Monitoring and evaluation is another target. Continuously tracking and assessing the effectiveness of your climate change adoption and mitigation efforts are reported and recorded. And that's how you build your knowledge center. Clear? Adoption fund इसके लिए चाहिए. अगर adoption करना है, सिनारियो प्लानिंग में हमने देखा कि सारा कुछ अगर स्ट्रीम पे जाएगा तो you have to have certain adoption done. And to have that, you require a global stock take, which held it every 5 years. And once that is done, you know that what is going wrong for this particular city or this particular area. And then you look for those funds either through grant or at lower interest rate made available to you through loss and damage fund, through whatever fund you want. And hence developing countries are always demanding this. Clear? Key function of these funds are that you get a direct access to finance and technical assistance along with it. Technological assistance is very important. Only in few area India is getting that, especially with the Scandinavian countries like Denmark, etc. is supporting India in biomass. They are sending those technology free of cost. तो आपने सुना होगा दिल्ली में बहुत सारी कंपनियां आ गई हैं. Clear? For vulnerable communities and adopting climate change, these are the requirements. यहाँ पे एक एडॉप्शन फंड भी क्रिएट किया गया है. CBDR में एक एडॉप्शन फंड भी क्रिएट किया गया था उसी के आसपास, जब where everybody agreed that 2% levy on the sale of certified emission reduction targets पे लगाई जाएगी, CERs पे. ओके, एंड वॉलंटरी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन के थ्रू डेवलप कंट्री ये पैसा निकालेगी और डेवलपिंग कंट्री को देगी. बट वी नो दैट नथिंग वर्कड आउट इन आवर फेवर. Challenges for future is this gap. The gap is the major problem. We are here right now. So whatever fund we have, the increase means, of course, this is a little old data where we are saying 1.2 degree centigrade warming of 2022. 2022 में ही 1.2 था, right? There we are. But we are expected to reach up to 4 to 5 degrees centigrade if we do not implement those funds for adoption and mitigation. And that's why climate finance remains a center stage. Slow है, difficult है, multilateral banks fail कर रहे हैं, but eventually आपको वो लाना ही पड़ेगा, फंड लाना ही पड़ेगा. So the country which do not have capital can become or make a stronger commitment, national stronger commitment. Otherwise, they can't achieve their net zero. And that's why sometime, and ephemeral optimists like me, people can say that we can have a positive one. Okay, chalo, we saw everybody wants to leave. Good night. So let's close it now and we meet tomorrow with a module number 2. We will start carbon accounting tomorrow. Right? So everybody, 7 o'clock sharp, see you there. Till then, take care. Sabak khair. Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
सीक्वेंस में है सर. गुड नाइट, शुभ रात्रि, शब्बा खैर.
चलिए, sequence.
Vivek, I just have one query
Yes,
with
yes,
respect
yes.
to climate stress test. There are scenarios also provided by multiple organizations.